Imagine being locked under the unyielding surface of a swimming pool, surrounded by water but unable to escape. In 12 feet deep, a seemingly mundane visit to a public pool spirals into a nightmare, pushing two estranged sisters to their limits, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. What begins as a simple swim turns into a haunting test of survival, revealing hidden truths and unspoken pain. The movie begins on a deceptively casual note. Sisters Bree and Jonna, disconnected for years due to familial and personal conflicts, reunite at the community pool for a quick swim before the holiday weekend begins. Bree, the more reserved of the two, exudes a quiet strength, while Jonna masks her insecurities with biting humor and sarcasm, hinting at unresolved tension. Jonna's playful teasing quickly turns to sharp remarks about Bree's engagement to David, her envy barely concealed. Their dynamic reflects years of strained sisterhood, with love buried beneath layers of resentment. As the day draws to a close, the pool manager announces an early closure due to the holiday. Bree suddenly realizes her engagement ring, a symbol of her new beginning, has slipped into the pool's drain. The golden band, glinting faintly under the pool's blue light, becomes a beacon of both hope and doom. Determined to retrieve it, the sisters dive beneath the water in search of the lost treasure. The tension mounts as the pool cover begins to close automatically. Its mechanical hum grows louder, and the sound of the heavy fiberglass barrier locking into place echoes ominously, signaling their entrapment. Bree and Jonna scramble to the surface, their cries for help swallowed by the eerie silence of the now empty facility. The realization hits them, they are trapped, completely at the mercy of their unforgiving surroundings. Panic grips Jonna first as she lashes out, her fear manifesting as anger. She blames Bree for their predicament, her voice trembling as she yells. Bree, ever pragmatic, tries to calm her, suggesting they systematically check the pool for weak points. The contrast between the sisters becomes stark, Bree's calm resourcefulness versus Jonna's impulsive frustration. The sisters explore the pool's edges, their movements sluggish in the cold water. Bree discovers an air duct, but is too small to exploit. Meanwhile, Jonna's attempt to force it open results in nothing but bleeding knuckles and growing despair. The sterile, suffocating environment intensifies their emotional turmoil. The pool's blue glow a harsh reminder of their isolation. As hours stretch into an eternity, the sisters' conversations grow more introspective. The setting, once a place of childhood joy, now forces them to confront buried memories. Bree reflects on Jonna's struggles with addiction, her voice filled with both pain and regret. Jonna, defensive at first, accuses Bree of abandoning her when she needed her most. The pool becomes a metaphor for their fractured relationship, a calm surface masking the chaos beneath. Each word exchanged adds weight to the water surrounding them, their shared history rising to the surface like bubbles breaking through the silence. Just as despair begins to set in, a ray of hope arrives in the form of Clara, a custodian who hears their cries for help. However, Clara's seemingly kind demeanor quickly dissolves into malice. A former convict, Clara sees their predicament as an opportunity to take control. Her voice, tinged with bitterness, reveals a life hardened by disappointment and desperation. She demands Bree's ATM pin in exchange for help, exploiting their vulnerability without hesitation. The sisters' attempts to reason with Clara are met with chilling indifference. Clara turns off the pool's heater, the temperature plummeting as the night deepens. The once inviting water transforms into a frigid trap, each breath the sisters take becoming visibly labored in the cold air. Clara's erratic behavior reflects her fractured psyche, a woman who feels the world has left her with no other choice. As hypothermia sets in, the sisters' situation grows dire. Jonna's sarcastic facade crumbles, exposing deep-seated insecurities and guilt. She confesses to sabotaging Bree's ring earlier, an impulsive act rooted in her jealousy of Bree's seemingly perfect life. Bree, despite her anger, puts aside her hurt to comfort Jonna, emphasizing their need to stick together. Their physical and emotional battles mirror one another. Bree suggests breaking the pool's drain cover and using it as a battering ram to shatter the fiberglass above. Together, they attempt to pry it loose, their movements growing weaker with every passing minute. The pool's oppressive silence, broken only by their labored breathing and occasional gasps, heightens the tension. Driven by desperation, Jonna focuses on the filter grate at the bottom of the pool. She believes it holds their last hope of escape. With little energy left, she musters the strength to dive repeatedly, trying to loosen the grate. Her movements are slow and labored as the icy water saps her stamina. Bree, watching from the surface, grows increasingly agitated. Every failed attempt chips away at her already fragile resolve. When Jonna surfaces after yet another unsuccessful dive, Bree snaps, accusing Jonna of wasting their precious energy. Their argument crescendos, but as quickly as it begins, it fades into a solemn truce. Both sisters understand they must rely on each other to survive. As the night deepens, the pool becomes a hauntingly tranquil tomb. The sisters, now physically and emotionally drained, share a rare moment of connection. Bree finally confesses a dark secret, her role in their father's death. She recounts the harrowing night when, in a moment of protective desperation, she ensured he would never harm them again. The revelation leaves Jonna stunned, but also oddly comforted. Their shared trauma becomes the foundation of their renewed bond. Holding each other for warmth, they vow to fight together, even as the odds grow bleaker. Bree's condition deteriorates further when she reveals she's diabetic and needs insulin from her purse. Jana, horrified